This class is for people who know natural wines, who don't know it, who love it, who are suspicious of them. Wherever you are on the spectrum, there's always something to learn about wine. So we're going to talk about two main questions tonight. One is, what is natural wine? And two, what is the deal with natural wine? Because we hear about it more and more. What are the aspects of it? Where is it headed? And of course, how is it tasting? So our examples are, from Eastern Europe, from Western Europe, from the United States. We've got a good run. And they're being poured right now. So we'll get into in just a couple minutes, the actual tasting. Now the first question is, what is natural wine? There is no formal definition, and possibly more importantly, there's no legal definition of natural wine. And there's been a lot of debate within the various wine communities about whether there should be a legal definition. And the funny thing is, a lot of practitioners of natural wine on the production side are attracted to the sort of lawlessness of it, or let's say the flexibility of it. Whereas a lot of people that are more on the gatekeeping side, retailers, soms, wine writers, are often the ones who are a little more on the yes, let's regulate side. And the conversation continues all the time. Usually, at least in the United States and the EU, I believe is the same way, when regulations are created, it's because there is a large constituent of that industry community that is advocating for it, goes through a comment period. If there's a sense that it should happen, then it does. But it doesn't happen without a lot of agitating, usually from the actual industry. So I don't think that has been the case with natural wine, so that's part of the reason why there's no real hard and fast legal definition. However, it is a category that is built as much by so-called gatekeepers as by producers. In a way, it's a sort of social wine category. It crosses style lines, it crosses national boundaries. It's to some degree, it's what you say it is. There's also a lot of controversy about whether people are allowed to use that definition for themselves. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But the most common, broad, inclusive definition is wine that is made with minimal ingredients and or processes in the vineyard and the cellar. And that's the definition we're going to be working with today. And there are a lot of aliases or synonyms for natural wine: raw wine, clean wine, low intervention, 0-0 is something that some producers use, slow wine. There are a lot of, and then there are also producers that have embraced terms like plonk and glue that were once intended for very cheap kind of throwaway wine that you need to drink immediately. These terms have been sort of repurposed by some in the natural wine community.
So Kryss, do you think of biodynamic essentially as a subset of natural wine? Because it meets that definition.
So I think biodynamic is heavily focused on the vineyard. So a lot of natural wines you'll find, and we'll talk about this in a sec, are farmed according to organic and or biodynamic principles. But when you think about natural wine and any associated category, you want to think of it not as a pyramid, but more of a Venn diagram. So there are biodynamic wines that are made with, like, say, more intervention, or maybe don't claim to be natural wines. And then there are natural wines that may not be farmed according to biodynamic principles. However, when you think of the humans that are involved in wine, there is a big overlap between those two subsets.